One of the central features of Patrick is the ability to create a specific group of genomes that are of interest to you. Because remember, Patrick has hundreds of thousands of genomes right now. And the hard part sometimes is finding genomes that you want to compare with your with your specific genome that perhaps you've annotated in Patrick. So this morning, I'm going to step you through showing how to create a genome group in Patrick. There are a number of ways you can do it, but the group I'm interested in is within the priority pathogens in Patrick. We have all the bacterial pathogens. We have all the bacterial pathogens, all bacteria and all archaea, but these are specific links to pathogens that are of particular interest because they're highly pathogenic, but you can get all bacteria or all archaea. The phages now are included in eukaryotic hosts. So if you were looking for something like cyanobacterium, you might use the global search function or go into all bacteria and drill down. But the example today is from Brucella. I work a lot with Brucella. And when I click on that tab, the first page shows me all the information available for that organism that we have in Patrick. So you can see up here, there are 817 genomes. So how am I supposed to find which ones I want to compare? So you can notice that there's tabs across the top for all the data. We have a lot of data for these organisms, and we try to subdivide it so that you can find it more easily. Let's go into genomes. So I click on genomes and wait for it to load, and it shows me there are 817, and there's some information over here, and I see that there's a keyword filter over here, and here I see a regular filter, so let's click on that. And these are ways to drill down to data in Patrick. So one of the first things I want to do is I want to see the representative, the high quality genomes that are recognized by NIAID for Brucella. So if I click on this, it shows me that there are 11 genomes that are considered to be representative genomes for Brucella. So I want to look at those. So I can click up here on this checkbox next to genome name and select them all. And then look, if you look here in the vertical green bar, it gives you a number of steps that you can take to that downstream process of once you've made a selection. So I want to create a group. And I'm going to create, you can either add to a group or create a new group. I'm going to create a new group, and I'm going to call it Brucella test genomes. Okay, so add to that. Add that, and then the message pops up telling me that it's created that group. But I just don't actually want those, so I'm going to unclick this. There are specific genomes that I'm interested in. Brucella has recently been isolated from aquatic mammals, amphibians. It's been isolated from amphibians. And so I'm going down here looking through the host names, and I'm clicking on genomes that have come from, that I can see have come from frogs. Oh, African bullfrog. This is a good one. So now I have 3 here. This one happens to be one I've done privately. Let's see if there's any other ones that I want here. The ornate horned frog. Okay. So now I've got a selection here of a few genomes that have, oh, and look at this one. This is an interesting one. this is an isolate from a ray, one of those big fish that you see. So let's look at that one too. Oh, actually, let me take that one off because this happens every time I look at that. That ray one is a little bit tricky. So I want to look at these particular genomes. And actually, I have better copies of these genomes. So let's look specifically at these two. And I'll add them to an existing group. And look, when I click on the down arrow here, I can see the most recent groups I've created. So the Brucella test genomes, and then add that. Now, one of the common reasons why you're doing this kind of thing is because, let me clear the filter here, because you have particular genomes that you're interested in, and you want to compare that and compare them to other genomes. So the first facet in the filter asks, is this genome public? It says right now that there are 737 public or true public genomes in Patrick and 80 false, which means those are private genomes. I told you I work a lot on Brucella. So these are the private genomes that I'm interested in. And there is a particular group. Now I'm showing you how to use the keyword feature. And there's particular genomes that I'm interested in. I've used a lot. Oh, here they are. I want to add this genome in. And so then I go into, once again, go into the group. And if you can't remember what you named the group, you can start typing and it'll give you a smart selection of things that match your text. So I add that in. It tells me I've added one more. And then I want this Pac-Man. I think that's what I called it. Yes, this is a particular genome, a private genome that I have. And I wanted to add that to the group. And once again, clicking on the down arrow shows me the one that I created most recently. And there we go. So it's added all of those. So that's a number of genomes that we've added. So you want to see, how many genomes did I add to that group? What's in that group? To do that, you can go into your workspaces and then on this tab, and then click Genome Groups. And I've created a ton of genome groups. How do I find the one that I just created? Each of these column heads are clickable and will auto sort. So if I click on created, it'll show me most recent it'll reverse the sort from the one I most recently created. So Brucella test genomes, it said there are 15 genomes there. If I select it, it gives me a number of things I can do with that. But I want to go to the genome group view so I can see those particular genomes. And I can look at who they all are. So this is showing the representative group for all Brucella, but let's look in the genomes. So there's my private genomes that I selected and the other genomes that are here. So I've got everybody that I need to look at here. Okay, and that's the way that you can create a genome group in Patrick.